Hello, it's Naplex time. These are pharmacy calculations, and we will be doing an example to determine when there's just extra information or when to use a percentage strength like 0.9% NaCl. So here's the question. The cancer chemotherapy drug doxorubicin is available as an injection 2 milligrams per milliliter, which is diluted in 250 milliliters of a 0.9% sodium chloride injection for intravenous infusion. For a particular patient, a dose of 16 milligrams of drug is to be infused. What is the concentration of doxorubicin in the infusion? And then we have some options here. So first things first. Now, how do I know when that 0.9% is actually extra information here? Some people want to use that in the calculations. We didn't need it. There's a concentration here of the NaCl. There's also a concentration of doxorubicin. Both those concentrations exist in the same volume. They only asked for doxorubicin. They did not ask for sodium chloride. In this case, 0.9% sodium chloride is extra information. How do you know when to use 0.9%? What do you look for in the question? Well, look at the final question. They ask for the concentration of a drug doxorubicin. Right here. What is the concentration of doxorubicin in the infusion? That's how I know I'm focused on the doxorubicin and not the sodium chloride. On the other hand, if the question asks for the concentration of sodium chloride, use the concentration of NS, which is 0.9% NaCl.
Now we will go through the calculations step by step. If you already know how to do the calculation, please increase speed of the video and keep moving along.
Here we have a picture. Doxorubicin is going to be represented in red. Sodium chloride is in blue. And just like how the question said originally, we have doxorubicin 2 milligram per ml. They want us to use 16 milligrams of doxorubicin. And it says we're diluting it in 250 mLs of sodium chloride. So this is our 250 mLs of sodium chloride. So if you can picture that, we have a little bit of doxorubicin and a lot of the normal saline. What is the concentration of doxorubicin infusion? Label our unknown. The unknown is X. What is? Then the concentration, so I put my percent concentration representation here, of doxorubicin, so I specified which concentration. That's what we want to know in the end. Do we want to know sodium chloride? Nope, we only want to know the drug. So another way of saying percent of doxorubicin would be X grams doxorubicin over 100 mLs. We're going to keep that in mind as we go down just a little bit here. Just like we said, we're bringing this X grams of doxorubicin over 100 mLs down. And to be able to find the final percent strength, we are going to have to find the total grams or the final grams of doxorubicin over the total milliliters of the infusion. How can I find that? First, I'm going to put grams of doxorubicin in the final. So find the total grams of doxorubicin there. We know that we did have 16 milligrams of doxorubicin. That is significant. That's actually the amount that we want in the final solution here that we're going to use for the infusion. A dose of 16 milligrams of drug is to be infused. This little bit is going to be in the very final solution. So we can rewrite that here. How can we find how many milliliters of the 16 milligram doxorubicin? Well, we know that it was 2 milligrams per ml. So I set up a proportion 2 milligrams doxorubicin over 1 ml equals 16 milligrams over X. That is going to get me how many milliliters of doxorubicin right here it takes to get 16 milligrams. X is 8 milliliters. So I'm going to make a note of that. I put 8 milliliters up here. So if I were to look back here and think about what I'm entering here, I know so far we have 16 milligrams, which represents the mass, but we'll need to change it to grams. And then I know that for milliliters, I have 250 plus 8, which will give me 258 milliliters. So that will go on the bottom. Like we said, 16 milligrams. That needs to be changed to grams. So I'll make my conversion. We know that 1 gram is equal to 1,000 milligrams, so I can use that as a conversion. It's like saying 1 over 1, and anything times 1 is itself. We converted to grams at 0.016 grams. I enter that here on top. I enter the 258 milliliters on the bottom, and we remember we got 250 from the normal saline and 8 milliliters from the doxorubicin. Now I just cross multiply and divide, and I'll get my X%. After I do, the answer comes out to 0.0062%. So the answer is C. I'll take us back up to the question again. Here's our correct answer.